Hello and welcome to Manchester United's training ground here at Carrington as we take a check on the squad ahead of a huge game over in France as we take on Lyon in the quarter-finals of the Europa League, a competition with huge significance for us this season. Joining me pitchside is journalist Ian Irving.
Morning, Solly.
Ian, morning, mate. Lovely sunny day, by the way.
Beautiful, by the way.
Bit of chill in the air, but it's a lovely day here. We're going to take a check on the squad and maybe see who is available, see if there's anybody missing ahead of the trip. But first and foremost, what a massive game this is for us.
Yeah, I mean, put simply, it's the biggest game of the season so far. United will hope for bigger games, obviously, further on in this competition. But given the league position, given the situation in the league with so many teams and not many games left to try and get ahead of to get into the European places, even if 8th or 9th place is going to give a place in Europe next season, it's unlikely that United are going to get there. So all efforts are on the Europa League. Win that, you're in the Champions League. The riches that come with that could be huge for the future and building for next season. So yeah, this is a huge match, no question.
Good thing is, our form in Europe has been very good this season.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Manchester United are still the only unbeaten side in the Champions League and Europa League this year. I mean, they got past Real Sociedad pretty easily, really. How on earth they drew the away game 1-1. I'm still wondering now because they were so dominant in that game. And okay, it's Lyon, okay, it's the quarterfinals, and obviously the teams will get tougher and tougher as the competition goes on, but United are favourites, aren't they?
Yeah, and I know it's looking ahead, but Rangers and Bilbao contest the other quarter-final, win that, and then you could go back to Bilbao for a potential final. I mean, it's a good pathway for the Reds. No games are easy, but it's a decent pathway. Yeah,
they should be confident, shouldn't they? Manchester United have not shown the level in the Premier League consistently, but like you say, in Europe, they have done that, and they are probably the favourites for this competition, and they just need to go away to Lyon. I guess controlling the atmosphere will be a big thing for them. It'll be a packed crowd, 50,000. It's a big noisy crowd away at Lyon as well. United played there in the noughties a couple of times and they were big occasions, but against much better Lyon sides than this one. I mean, you know, you're looking at the likes of Nemanja Matic, former Manchester United midfielder, Alexander Lacazette. I think there's 6 or 7 former Premier League players in there. Ryan Cherky is the key man for them.
Yeah, he's the star man, isn't he?
He's the one to stop. So Manu Ugarte maybe's got a bit of a job there to shut him down in midfield. But United should be winning this game, unquestionably. Home and away, and looking forward to a semi-final.
Yeah, it's not a vintage Lyon side. It's a good side. They won at the weekend. They beat Lille in the race for European places in Liga. But it's definitely not a vintage Lyon side, but still will have to play very well. Thankfully, the recent performances, although we got beat at Forest and only drew the derby against City, but the performance level was good.
Yeah, the performances are better. There's no question about that. Speaking to Ruben Amorim this week as well, he thinks the same. Defensively, certainly, they're finding a stability that wasn't there earlier on in the season. I think the system is beginning to work now for United, definitely defensively. You look at the shape, you look at the interaction and relationship between the players now. People know the roles in those defensive positions far better. It's going forward, obviously, where there needs to be an improvement. I mean, under Amorim, they've had 20 Premier League games so far, and they've failed to score in 8 of them, which, considering the quality of this United team, the expectation of the squad as well, that is definitely something that needs to improve. And the likes of Rasmus Højlund, Joshua Zirkzee, Garnacho, they all need to be scoring more consistently.
They certainly do. Goals have been a problem. I mean, my first reaction, let's have a look at the players over there. First reaction, you know, it's a good size to the squad. We're getting players back now. We saw Luke Shaw, you know, back in and amongst the group.
Yeah.
That's a really important thing for us to get him up and running. I can see Cobby there. Is he in the group now? So Cobby's in the group now. That could be huge for us to get Cobby back.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you look across the squad, really. The first thing that stands out to me, there's no tunnel this morning. So there's no one returning from injury, because it feels like every time we've seen open training this season, there's been a reason for a player to be welcomed back into the fold. But yeah, this is probably as good a squad that Ruben Amorim's had to work with since his very early days in the job at the tail end of last year. Kobbie Mainoo being back with his new haircut is definitely important.
That's why I had to do a double take at first. He's cut it very short. Yeah, exactly. But there's definitely Cobby over there. You can see the 37 on his chest. And it's an interesting unknown quantity at the moment in this formation, because
True.
he has played in the centre of the midfield,
True,
but he
yeah.
also did a job as one of the 10s, didn't he?
Yeah, he was centre forward for one game.
And he went as a
Brighton
false
at
9
home, I think.
almost, yeah.
So there are different ways. I think as well that the head coach has said that he is still trying to work out some of the pieces and how some of the players fit in. I mean, you look at Bruno Fernandes' performances of late, they've been brilliant, and they've come in multiple positions. I mean, Forest away, I think he played in 3 different positions across the 90 minutes, and you wonder whether Cobby is the sort of profile that Amorim could use in multiple positions across matches. There's a game intelligence there, there's quality, obviously. He's done the number 6 role a lot under Erik ten Hag. He's played further forward more in the youth teams at United, so there's experience there. I mean, I think the first time he ever played as a number 6 properly was Goodison Park in the Premier League, and look how he coped with that. So there's definitely another option there for Amorim that could be really useful in the remainder of this season.
Of course, he's competing for a midfield berth alongside people like Casemiro, who was man of the match against City, rejuvenated. Yeah. His form's been really good. Was it 11 tackles he made against City, which was a joint record in the Premier League for a Manchester United player? And it's
most
not
of
just
any Premier League player this season, actually.
Brilliant.
Any club. Yeah.
That's fantastic. And he not only gets about the pitch now and makes the tackles and intercepts, but his use of the ball's really clever.
Yeah, and it's important for United, that, isn't it? Because I think that is a reason why Bruno Fernandes has ended up a lot deeper in some of the games recently, because they've needed that sense of control deeper in midfield. And if Casemiro can help to bring that, and you can get Bruno Fernandes closer to the goal, that is still Manchester United's biggest goal threat, isn't it? I mean, he's the player of the month for a reason.
Yeah.
He was absolutely superb across March, and you just hope that he can replicate anything close to that. I mean, his performance at home against Real Sociedad is probably the best individual display of the season for United.
He is so important to us, Bruno, isn't he?
Yeah.
He is a world-class player. We used to have world-class players in every single position. The squad's growing, isn't it, now? And we're trying to get back to that kind of level. But Bruno certainly is one who could have potentially held his head high in any era of Manchester United team. Yeah,
definitely. You look at Bruno Fernandes and you think, is there a team in Europe that he doesn't get in the starting 11? That's how good he is. United are lucky to have him in some ways, but in other ways, you know, he's grown with United as well. He came with a great track record from Portugal, but almost from minute 1 in the red shirt, he has grown year on year, match by match, and he's a figurehead of this team. He's the most important player, he's the player of the highest quality, he's the captain, he's the leader. Even off the pitch, you look at the stuff he did with Bobby, the mascot, at the weekend, and the way he drove that and got the club to have Bobby down as a mascot and everything else. I mean, he just sets the tone in every way for this group and this team and the club at the moment. He's a crucial player, no doubt.
Patrick Dorgu's in the group closest to us. He came into the club in January. He's immediately got himself into the team. He's finding some rhythm. Yes, he's had a couple of moments when he hasn't been at the level that he's capable of, but from what you've seen so far, how highly do you rate him?
I'm encouraged by the start that he's made. Obviously, the red card punctuated that a little bit in the Premier League. But you look at the balance that he brings. He's a natural left-sided player. He understands the wing-back role as well, which, you know, Diogo Dalot's done that throughout his time under Amorim. Nusayr Mazraoui's done it. I wouldn't have said for either of them it's a position that they are most comfortable in. I think both of them are either full-backs, or in Mazraoui's case, I think he's been excellent on the right or left side of the back three. But Dorgu seems more like a proper wing-back. I think it's an area that United will look at in the summer as well, to try and bed out that level of option really for Amorim in the wing-back positions. And I think his delivery needs to improve maybe a little bit. The end products we saw, especially in the derby at the weekend. Yeah,
there was a couple of moments, wasn't there, when he didn't cover himself in glory. There was an early one when he perhaps could have taken a touch and not rushed his effort, and then another one when he did vice versa, where he completely did rush it.
But you know, he's 20 years old, okay, and he's playing in Serie A. It's a different league to the Premier League, and you know, he's playing for a lower club in Lecce as well. It's not like, you know, he's used to playing in front of 76,000 people at Old Trafford. It's a step up for him. He's done it mid-season. I know it'll help him that he's got Rasmus and Christian around, 2 players who understand the move from Italy to the Premier League. Christian had already been in the Premier League, of course, but in Rasmus's case, he's not much older than him. And it feels like he's a seasoned pro in comparison. So I know he's been helping him, and you feel like there's more to come from him, don't you?
Yeah, I definitely think so, and with a full pre-season under his belt as well in the summer, when he starts the next campaign, you'll see an even more improved player. In terms of the goals we need to score, far group over there you've got Josh Zirkzee, who definitely could do with a goal as well, like all our forward players. It is an area of concern. We're not going to get through to the Europa League semi-final without scoring some goals.
No,
well, we could have 0-0 and 0-0 and win on penalties, but
still technically scoring if you put your penalties away.
You're right, yeah, if you're putting your penalties away, but we do need to get goals.
They do, and again, speaking to Amarin this week, I think he's aware that the attacking play is the area that still needs the most work, and finding those patterns and rhythms and players finding confidence. I think it's the crucial aspect for the attacking players, not just in this team but in any team really. And when the players have had runs like Rasmus and Alejandro and Josh have had at times this season, I mean, it's incredibly difficult. That there is so much pressure on these lads week in, week out to score. I mean, you look at the derby and Højlund's working as hard as he possibly can, but he didn't even have a shot in the game. I mean, that's not his fault.
No.
That has to be a team failing. That can't be just an individual thing. Joshua Zirkzee, I mean, Newcastle away in the Premier League is the next league game. You think of that Newcastle at home game where he's taken off after half an hour and the atmosphere inside the stadium wasn't very nice for him. And he's recovered from that superbly. That would have been too much for a lot of young players, to be fair.
Yeah.
But he's come back from that. He's shown signs, hasn't he? He looks like there's a player in there.
Yeah.
Again, maybe just
he certainly won the fans round a bit, didn't he?
Oh, definitely. And the fans' reaction was crucial to him being able to recover as well. Straight away in the next game at Liverpool, they were singing his name. You know, there was real support for him, and that will have helped him, no doubt. But again, the young lads, you know, the 22, 23, Højlund and Zirkzee, still trying to find the feet under huge scrutiny in a team that's not quite functioning as it should at the minute as well. So it's not easy, is it?
No,
hardest
definitely
job in football,
not.
You know.
100%. That's why they get paid the big bucks.
Yeah, I suppose so.
It definitely looks like an area, though, which United might look to do some business in the summer. They do need some help up there, that's for sure. A word on some of the younger players. See Camerson there, getting involved in these kind of sessions, for example, for a player like him who's done well in the youth teams. It's just great for their development, isn't it? Just to be around these international footballers.
Definitely, and it's the next step for the lads who have done well in the youth teams, isn't it? To have a taste of first team training, to be around the first team squads. Harry Amas is in the other group as well, who obviously has been part of the senior squad for the last few weeks, made his senior debut on his 18th birthday away at Leicester, which has been great. He's been around it in pre-season previously as well, so that was a long time coming for him in some ways. But this is what they need to do. You know, they need to have a flavour of what it's like to be a first-team player at Manchester United, to be part of the group, to get to know people, and then they start to feel more and more comfortable. And obviously United have needed these academy players this season because of the level of injuries. And I'm looking now, there's no Matthias de Ligt, which is a blow.
Yeah, that's a good point actually. And no de Ligt, he missed the derby, and the first we heard about that was when the team was released. We didn't know that Matthias de Ligt wouldn't make that game. He will be missed, but Harry Maguire comes in and it's a like for like, isn't it, really?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, de Ligt I think had started 9 games in a row before missing the derby, and he'd become a useful player.
How's your touch, Ian? There's a ball over to us.
He's become a useful player for the head coach because he's been able to play in multiple roles across that back three. He's played with Maguire, hasn't he? But unquestionably, both of them look most comfortable in the central
one of the three.
Central position.
For sure. Yeah, I think both of them are contesting for that one place. We know Ruben likes the left and right centre backs to be very comfortable going out into the wide positions, which would lead us to someone like maybe Luke Shaw being perhaps
I think he
in
will,
the absence of Lisandro Martinez, who's still out long term.
Well, Aidan Heaven's not there either, is he?
No, Aidan Heaven, who's looked good there as well. But
Luke
Shaw, that could be ideal for him, left centre back.
I think that's where he'll play. I don't think he's the wing back option, especially with Dorgu's availability as well. He seems like he's going to be consistently. Excuse me, there's a fly in my face. He's going to be consistently available in that position for Amarin. So I think the natural position for Luke Shaw is that left centre half actually.
Yeah, it's a big demand, the wing back role, isn't it? Of someone who's had more than his fair share of injuries of late.
Yeah, exactly.
He definitely needs to get a lot of game time under his belt before he could be an option in that position.
He needs not to be rushed as well. I mean, there's been times I think with Luke where he's been so desperate to get back playing that he's come back as quick as he possibly can, and obviously then ended up suffering, further setbacks. Even when he came back under Ruben Amorim, I think he played in 3 matches in quick succession off the bench, and then obviously had his relapse. So they need to be ultra careful with him. They want him available for the long term, not just for the next few weeks. So I think what we've seen so far is him being involved in training. And around the squads, but obviously you want to get to a point where you can ease him into first team action again, and hopefully he stays fit, because he's a brilliant player for United when he's fit. He has been over the years, and I can see him working in this system as well, actually. So
definitely. Well, the players will continue their preparation before flying off to France a little later, and we hope they can get a good result in Lyon to bring back to Manchester. I guess the headlines from us as we depart are that Kobbie Mainoo's back on the grass with the players. Hopefully he will be available for the trip to Lyon, and that there's still no Matthias de Ligt, so we'll update you on his injury situation as soon as we get that information. Thanks, Ian, for coming along.
Cheers, Sully.
And we'll continue to watch the team prepare. For now, though, we'll say goodbye and keep an eye on the Manchester United app for all the updates as the team prepare to fly for France.